Good evening, everyone. Happy Friday. We are here once again, and it's just good to see you all. I hope this finds you well on a wonderful Friday, possibly Saturday. And I have a very special time tonight because I'm joined by a very good friend who has endured my humor for far longer than seems humanly possible. I am joined by the one and only JoshScorcher.
Hello, hello, hello. How are we all doing today?
Well, I'm doing well, and I hope you are also.
But...
But?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just seeing how you're doing. But?
Yeah.
Like in every Overwatch, there's always a but.
Yeah. So, I'm doing okay. Past couple days been getting really immersed in in a very creative atmosphere and products. So yeah, I think this might be a good way to kind of wind down.
Oh, excellent. I find these Fulfillment Fridays are a great way to get stuff going, but also to unwind. It's been a full week. It's a week of anticipation. And in anticipation of people's questions, I want to just give some shout-outs. First off, we got Battleship Agincourt. Good to see you again. And yeah, we have clashing personalities, but hopefully not hostility. We have Enderpup and Komodra Steel, Preston Cox and Trinary. I see both Voice of Reason and Master Code Ace Analyst in the chat. Good to see you guys.
Hey.
Let's see here. There's some names I'm not as familiar, so I'm probably going to mispronounce them. Etelopool Cartoon Awesome, welcome. And let's see here. I also saw a new unfamiliar name. Anime Christie. I don't think I ever know that person. Just kidding, Safi. Good to see you.
I know her.
Good to see you.
Oh, I am always bad with detecting sarcasm.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay then. And now it is Kristen Kanzler. Welcome with a proud Backstreet's back. And let's see here. Also, Pokemon Fire Eevee, Annabelle Baker, Jude 3300 and Creative Burst. Welcome to you both. King Raiko and Repta Clawtooth Badillo. And let's see, other folks. Like I say, hello, Sefi. 117 War Spartan. I got that reference. Zulika Ali, Lloyd Thomas. Let's see here. King Aiko, I think I said hello. Colonel Havoc. All manner of good folks here. Oh, and over on the Twitch. Let's never forget that I see Blue Griffin, who I know was hanging out at your earlier TF2 stream. Also, Helsing Ghost, Rosefire14, Riverdaleum, Dan the Warrior 101, Cat G 9917, Seeker Mark, and Wolfie Star. Welcome all. Thank you for joining us. So here we are. I find this kind of funny. This is one of the first backgrounds I ever tried to cook up from scratch. We needed, Josh and I, for our first collab, a setting of a fob. And Josh, can you explain to everyone what a fob is?
It's a forward operating base. It's basically like a lot of them are temporary, but basically like they're like small, quickly constructed bases out in the middle of nowhere in order to serve as a place for a lot of people to get together. So kind of what we had the idea was a like forward operating base was like out there in the Badlands, just see like what the changelings are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just kind of where it is, just like seeing like if there's any threats. And we thought it would be also fun to put in the Badlands because it brings up imagery and sympathy from all the poor military folk who suffered in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's very easy to tie struggles and make military jokes in that setting.
Crimson Rain, already supporting me. Much appreciated. I kind of need to turn my headphones down. That gave me a startle. But, I used to think it was an acronym for Fully Opera Badgers. But, that's just me. So, anywho, let's see. Let's start things off with a question. Because I know...
Apparently I'm echoing a lot.
Let me see. Echoing. I think I can fix that. How about now? Can you say a few things?
A few things.
Excellent. Folks. Oh, and welcome to a follower, Stash Hand. Thank you for following. But how are we... Dr. Elkestein, PhD. There's your shout out. I try to shout out as many as I can.
There's a Maddie Munchkin.
Oh, there's a Maddie. Hello, Maddie. Marvelous.
Yeah.
And let's see. Now, there's always an opening question from Komodo Steel. Have you, Josh, ever heard of SMILE?
SMILE. I don't think I have. No.
Well, there we go. Plus, I also forced him to spell. It's kind of funny. It's like when my family would take our dogs for a walk, we could never say the word. We all had to spell it out, and even then, I caught myself going to, yeah. So, this Smile, Agents of Smile, is a My Little Pony book recounting the adventures of Lyra and Bon Bon, or Sweetie Drops.
Okay.
So, it was a little follow-up to Slice of Life.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it seems interesting. The's not a lot of different fanfic fan projects like that it's not that any of them are bad. It's just I can see that there's a lot of passion put into them. It's just I think of but so yeah, like what kind of work is it? Is it like audio? Is it video? Like how much?
It is one book. Let's see here. Actually, before we get too far, I'm hearing some static on your end, but I always feel like this is a failing on my technology.
Well, my mic isn't quite activated until I actually start speaking into the mic, so...
Let's see here. What can I do to test this real quick? 1 sec. I'm going to just test a little something. I always find that if I do a little audio switcheroony, it sometimes clears it up. So, real quick, voice and video. Now, if it's going to the Rodecaster, I wonder... Let's see if everyone can hear you now. Let's just go with a joke. Guy walks into a bar, says, ow. No? No reaction, Josh? Oh, no, now I can't hear you at all. So. All right, let's try instead switching back.
Yeah, apparently.
Okay, there we go. Now I can hear you.
Yeah. It's not a stream if nothing goes wrong.
Of course. That's part of the fun. So, and the best fun was when my computer had a panic attack and shut down completely. It was like, oh, I asked way too much. Well, people are assuming I've already killed you with that terrible joke, so I'm off to a good start.
Yep.
Now, I know another common question from my bud Champ to Stay. He is always curious if my guests have seen Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends.
I remember watching it as a kid. I don't remember a lot of it, but yeah, I think I stopped watching it when I was like 7.
Honestly, that's better than most answers. Most people are like, "Oh, I never really encountered it. It was after my time."
Hmm. Yeah, when I was a kid, I was into, like those sorts of TV shows. I was into Thomas. I was into it's like apparently, and people have had to tell me about this because I honestly don't remember a lot of it. I watched a lot of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood,
Oh, Josh,
but
you sound really
I
muted
don't.
right now.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Okay, I watched. Let me try again. I was okay when I was a kid. Like really, really, really young. A lot of people told me that I watched a lot of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, but I weirdly don't remember anything from it. I remember like wanting to watch it, but I weirdly only wanted to watch it because I wanted to see what jacket Mr. Rogers was going to wear. Weirdly.
Hey, it was part of his appeal.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I know I watched Mr. Rogers, and I can't really recall specific events. But again, I remember watching Sesame Street and not necessarily remembering either.
Hmm.
Though I have to ask, did you ever see the documentary "Won't You Be My Neighbor"?
No, I have not. I need to.
I give it a high recommendation. This was pre human malware, so
Yeah.
it was a more innocent time. But a friend and I went to the Alamo to watch this movie,
Oh.
and they had tissue packets at every seat.
Yes.
And I said to the staff, "Are we going to need these?" And they say, "Yeah, most people need them." And about halfway through the documentary, he's like, "Yes, I need this. Thank you very much." I can't. I just can't. So
Hmm.
it's a marvelous documentary, and maybe I didn't fully appreciate all that Mr. Rogers did at the time. I get a better understanding now. But yes, manly tears were shed.
Yep.
Honestly, I don't think there was a dry eye in the house.
Yeesh.
Let's see here. I'm just looking through. Folks are saying, "Hey to you." Ah, William Gannis is wondering if you and I would ever play Warframe together.
Warframe. I actually have never played Warframe.
I played it for just a little bit, but I found the character designs a little too odd. Everyone looks like a bug or a flower, and they're humans, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time getting into this because this one character is given two lip.
Hmm. Yeah, apparently, it's a very popular, competitive game, and apparently the characters have like personalities and stuff. It's just I've been trying to cut back on those types of games. Like I've stopped playing games like Heroes of the Storm. I've stopped playing games like Magic the Gathering Arena because I've stopped playing games that I have to commit to and I cannot pause.
Because there's too much else happening.
Not only that, I am not playing games where they strengthen that instinct of uh, You ever play a game that just really compels you to continue, like League of Legends or Heroes of the Storm or Magic the Gathering Arena, where you get into where it's like where you get on a little losing streak. It's like, okay, I'll stop playing once I win once. Okay, then you just keep losing. It's like, okay, I'm gonna keep going until I win once, and then you win, and then you're like, now I want more.
That was my days of playing Halo Reach.
Yep, it's like you keep going until you win, but then you just win, and you're like, now I want more. It's that it's just once I realized that was happening, I had to stop.
I'm afraid I'm still having. I don't know if this is on my end that your microphone's input strength seems to go down at points.
I don't know why. It's excuse me.
Stet709 on Twitch has a good philosophy. If I can't pause it, I ain't playing it.
Yeah.
Oh, and I have a shout out request from Kayoko5862. Glad you're watching.
E.
Oh, and Little Heart, the package you sent is addressed to my family, and I'll have to check with them this weekend to make sure it's safely arrived, but I have great confidence. So, thank you for following up on that. Now, I admit, I still play Destiny, but I haven't touched in like 3 weeks. And, oh, God, I look like a mutated giraffe right now. Just like, look at that neck. Celestia got nothing on that neck. But, you know, they're saying, oh, it's the solstice of heroes, and there's still time to get your seasonal armor. Like, that seasonal armor makes me look like a bug. If I'm not interested, apparently I am not interested in armor that makes me look like a flower or a bug. Who knew? I didn't know. Did you know?
Yeah, it's one of something you never knew you wanted or didn't want in this case.
Actually, what was it? Just today, there was this YouTube video of a person holding a giant beetle as it flapped its wings and sounded like a jackhammer. Thing was huge, and I genuinely felt a little unnerved looking. It was like, I don't know why I'm having this reaction, but it's very primal. I mean, as far as I know, this beetle was of no danger. It's not. I think it's in Japan, one of those rhino beetles. But
yeah.
But I was just like, no, thank you. It really bugs me. There we go.
I did not realize that was a pun until you did the rim shot.
Well, that's why I'm so glad I got this soundboard. Also, it doesn't matter if anyone else hates the joke. I have canned laughter. I love that it fades out, that everyone just sort of, ha, ha, ha. Okay, are we still supposed to laugh? How much is he paying us again?
I'm in hell.
Welcome to my nightmare.
I don't think I'm gonna like it.
Well, I'm still wearing clothes, so it's not like every other nightmare. Although
Sorry, I just had this mental picture.
Oh dear. No, just picture me in the gold sequin jacket. That usually does it for folks. Actually, I'll tell you the truth. Most of my nightmares involve face huggers. Mostly because they creep me out more than a xenomorph.
Yeah. Yeah, it's whenever I get into like a nightmare, that's usually the point where I start lucid dreaming.
You can control it.
And I'm a lucid dreamer actually.
Nice.
Yeah, so whenever it gets to the nightmares, it's just like, nope. I just kind of nope out of the dream and just Yeah. So yeah, lucky. It's yeah, lucky me. But hmm,
Now, that sounds pretty handy. I don't know.
yeah, it is.
I can only recall one time I had control over my dream, and it was just realizing it was a dream and commanding myself to wake up, and then I did.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, there's this one time when I was lucid dreaming. It was really funny. I was trying to find directions to a place. I forget where. I think it was in an amusement park or something. But it's like, oh, where's this roller coaster? Do you know where's this roller coaster? Oh, it's over there. And then I remember the exact words I said. But earlier in my dream, it was over there. Well, we moved it. Okay, then.
were you literally having a discussion with your subconscious?
Yep. It's just like, hang on. Earlier in my dream, it was over there. Well, we moved it. Okay, then. Uh, it's really weird. Like sometimes when you know it's a dream, it's like you know how sometimes when you know it's a dream, you realize it's a dream, you're compelled to wake up. It's always interesting when that doesn't happen, where you're so tired, where you are so tired when you realize that you're lucid and dreaming, and you don't wake up. It's just like it's like, a lot of times I don't really try to lucid dream because I don't get nightmares that often. I only attempt to lucid dream when I realize I'm having a nightmare.
Hmm. Although
Yeah. So
I'm compelled to ask though, has your work ethic ever taken over? It's like, well, if I'm dreaming, might as well get some work done on the next script.
uh no, I try not to lucid dream in that way because if I try to work while lucid dreaming, I shift into this weird state of half consciousness where I'm flitting back and forth between the dream and real world, and I get really tired and I can't really focus, and it takes a lot of it's not pleasant.
Hmm.
Sometimes yeah, sometimes lucid dreaming is dangerous.
I get you. Allow me one quick sec. We're getting static once again, so I'm just going to do a quick little audio switcheroony. Okay, now we should be good again.
All right, hopefully.
Oh, now you sound clear. I'm really going to have to look into this. This happens if I play music, or well, apparently now even if I have a guest, something. I wonder if it's the multi-output MIDI.
Possibly.
But anyway, I was just thinking if you were working while you were dreaming, that's a clear case for a workaholic.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, it's I've learned the hard way to not try and do that because it you will have a sleepless night and it will suck.
Ugh. No, thank you.
Mm.
And let's see. Now we've got some literary questions for you.
All right.
First off, is Preston Cox wondering if you've ever been a fan of Lord Sauron?
Um a fan of Lord Sauron. I don't think really. It's I mean I've read Lord of the Rings. I haven't read the Silmarillion. I haven't read a lot of like the expanded universe of Middle Earth. That is definitely more of an Aramau thing. Who or my older brother. It's just my wife and my older brother are huge book nerds, whereas I am more of a casual enjoyer.
There you go. I've had some friends get into a kind of nerd off on Lord of the
Mm.
Rings, trying to recount what was it, uh, the Ranger. Why am I suddenly
Hmm.
blanking on his name?
Uh,
Aragorn.
Aragorn.
Yeah. Uh, they were having like a nerd off trying to recount his history. Was he part angel or not? And I'm just sitting there like, But
and there's but I have like picked up on some things, and okay, so there's a really really weird thing about Middle Earth and its and its world building. Okay, so it's both a round world and a flat world.
oh, don't give the flat earthers more idea.
Yeah, so basically why it's some sort of like divine curse thingy where like everyone who's not an elf, when they try to sail around the world, they'll sail around the world. But if you're an elf and if you sail off you'll you'll, you'll basically reach heaven. And that is why elf eyes can see as far as they can, because you know how we humans can only see so far because of the curvature of the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Elves don't have that problem because the world isn't bent for them. They can see as far as that's why Aragorn says, Legolas, what do your elf eyes see?
Huh. Oh,
Yeah.
So he's not being speciesist. It's actually quite biological. Although this raises a terrifying question for me. Are flat earthers secretly elves? Have we chanced upon have we chanced upon the elven conspiracy? See, all this time I thought they were cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but it could be they really are elves and just don't know it. Sir?
They seem to operate off of Fey logic.
Sir, have you noticed an increased pointedness in your ears? Maybe a fascination with certain types of bread? I have a shield and some stairs. How would you like to go down them?
Oh my gosh, it explains so much. The weird, warped, Fey-like logic, the insistence that the world is flat. It makes sense. Flat earthers are elves!
Oh my god, we have actually had an epiphany tonight. Okay, we need to like write a book and conduct a study. This means moolah. You all heard it here tonight, folks. Flat earthers are secretly elves.
The chat's going nuts.
Although, Rosefire is begging me to stop, but I'm sorry, Rose. I've got this line of thought. I just can't stop.
Yeah.
Now, another literary question from earlier was if you have a favorite Chronicles of Narnia story.
Chronicles of Narnia. I mean, I am going to be. It's Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe. I am basic. I'm not gonna pretend and try and be some sort of contrarian. I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, I love one of the more obscure ones. But come on, there's a reason that Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe is the most beloved one.
Indeed. And well, it's the easiest one to jump into.
Though I will say, it's in a lot of the other stories, Edmund becomes a boss. There are so many like really really cool moments that Edmund has, like especially like in Prince Caspian. It's just it's like, hey, I saw Aslan. no, he's not there. It's like, are you sure? Are you sure you didn't see him? Edmund just folds his arms like, last time I didn't believe Lucy, I ended up looking pretty stupid. He really cleaned up his act.
It's like, I've learned. It's like, oh, character development. They're learning. They're becoming self-aware.
Yep.
And let's see here.
Oh man, Edmund really does become the best.
And let's see here. Pardon me as I'm just hunting for an element. But gosh darn, if I... my dang pose library has reached such critical mass. I have to separate things into files. So now I'm like, yep, here we go. Silver-Quill's a drunk. There she is. And all I needed was the Twi'lek. I mean, really. Anywho, let's see here. Question from FoxFan321. Who is your favorite villain? From anywhere.
From anywhere. Let's see. Well, I don't want to be basic and just say Kefka from Final Fantasy VI.
Why would that be basic?
Yeah, might because. Well, it's just so obvious. I've made Kefka such an enormous part of my channel's identity, so as it has to be Kefka. But if I had to. But one thing that people might actually be surprised by is that my favorite DC villain is not the Joker. My favorite DC villain is actually the Riddler.
Oh, you like his brain tease?
Sort of. It's just like specifically my favorite version of him comes from the Arkham series, where he is sort of like, he's kind of like Jigsaw in a way, but instead of trying to teach people morality, he's trying to cull those who he believes are stupid. And he's got this voice of a game show host. Like, I find that interpretation of the character absolutely fascinating.
It's an interesting way to look at it. He's not trying to... he's trying to cull the stupid.
Yeah. Also, he does not like any insinuation that his mind is not perfect. Like, when he is called insane, he finds that utterly offensive, because it implies that there is a defect in his brain, and he is not, and there's no defect in his brain. He's the smartest person in the world. Wait, Batman outsmarted him? No, Batman had to have cheated.
I'm trying to...
Utterly fast.
I'm trying to think of times I've seen the Riddler. I mean, I'm afraid I'm not as well read, and I need to catch up on the Batman games.
Yeah.
His role in Hush is probably my most recent discovery. And then there's the comic Hush, which I've read, and then there's the animated Hush. I don't know. I don't want to give away spoilers for the animated, just in case. But actually, yeah,
go ahead.
Well, actually, I'm about to divert the conversation. See, I'm slowly getting to where I'm emulating the outfit of Lord Stark. But
I see.
For the fur, I don't want to have a fox or a wolf's pelt around my head. And, well, I already tormented people with the idea of a mantine draped across power armor. So I'm wondering, what should I put there? What's something no one would feel bad if I were wearing it and yet be funny? Mm.
I'd imagine you probably have to look through a bunch of like all the different fashion choices. It like maybe bunch of the dresses or a bunch of the really goofy fashion, like fashionista. You'd have to look through a lot of Rarity episodes.
I'm gonna say, because right off the top of my head, the only one who wore something close to fur was Sombra. I mean, he wore that. I don't even know why this is a thing. A white sort of fur with black spots. It's meant to represent royalty, but I don't know why. I do not know. Okay, Raptic Clawtooth wants me to wear Gak. That'd be slimy.
Someone said a diamond dog pelt. That's dark.
Very. But peacock. Okay, I like Robert Berger's idea. Peacock feathers. Q, you're being quite dark yourself. A cloak made of Rainbow Dash and Twilight's feathers? Like, I'd have plucked them bald. I have very broad shoulders.
No.
Venpie wonders, what are our thoughts on Cozy Glow?
I really love the idea of Cozy Glow because, for one, it kind of bothered me that so many of the antagonists in MLP were unicorns. Like, it just kind of sent this unintentional, like, if you have this special ability, you're probably going to be a bad guy. But no, Cozy Glow appears and she does all of this with just like herself. She didn't even need to be a Pegasus. Like, she just did all of the horrible things that she did with just her. Like, and like, she's utterly two-faced. She's a sociopathic, and I really like Cozy Glow. I really do.
I do like it. I like her scheming, her manipulation of everyone. When she was first banished to Tartarus, I said I agree with this. I agree with the judgment, but not the sentencing. It's like, there aren't some normal prisons she could go to. You gotta go to Tartarus. But then after she gets her power and turns genuine traitor, well, okay, she was already a genuine traitor. She goes like full on destroy Equestria. Then I'm like, okay, I'm not so broken up about the whole frozen petrified thing. She knew what she was doing.
Yeah, she is. It's like a lot of people do say it's like she's a child. It seems a little extreme. It's like, guys, no. She's not a child. She knows exactly what she is doing.
Yeah,
she is not too young to receive that sort of punishment. She is fully cognizant.
And that's the thing. A lot of the laws about how to try a minor goes with the assumption they don't know the full consequence of their actions.
Yeah.
But she knew. Oh boy, she had full awareness and delight.
Yeah, the thing is, it's like and we see like it's like the world of Equestria. It shows us that pony minds develop very, very fast. But the babies, they think and act and plan like from a very, very young age.
Now, I also hold the philosophy that maybe everyone can be redeemed, but not everyone can be the redeemer. So I don't think
Yes.
I don't know if Twilight can get Cozy to reform. But if that's not the case, I don't know who can.
Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, that's one of the difficult things. It reminds me of a fanfic I read the other like a while ago where like what was it? I don't think I'm not sure if it was like every year or like every 5 years or 10 years is that Twilight releases is the Tirek, Chrysalis, and Cozy Glow in court and asks them if they would like to and gives them a hearing, see if they would like to change, like maybe they can discuss some things. And each time they find some and each time they find some new way to prove that they're not willing to redeem. And it just kind of breaks, it just really really hurts Twilight because the I think like the final sentence of the fic was, why can't they just say I'm sorry?
Oh, fair question. Is it pride? Is it fear of vulnerability?
Hmm. Yeah, it's I forget what T-Rex thing was, like why he said no, but it's I do remember the reasons that Chrysalis and Cozy Glow said no, because Cozy Glow constantly proved that she's still trying to manipulate. She's still trying to get one up. She still has ambitions. She's still trying to trick people and lie to people. And Chrysalis, it's her pride. It is absolutely her pride. It's her pride as being on the top of the food chain.
In quite a literal sense.
Yeah.
And Tyrk always struck me as wounded that ultimately that his brother never
Mm.
backed him up. That when push came to shove, his own family turned on him, even
Yep.
though it was the right thing to do.
Hmm.
I've never quite. I was kind of wish we could follow up more on what there was a comic, Fiendship is Magic, where they
Mm.
talked about T-Rex culture and his alienation from it as a magic user.
Hmm.
But it was never really followed up on. Comics had a lot of good ideas that never got followed up on.
Yeah, that is that I don't want to be mean to the guys because they gave us they get it's like what DHX gave us for MLPG4 was really really good. But it's just that feels like a really really apropos statement. It's just like they don't follow up on a lot of interesting ideas. It feels like this really wonderful, magnificent, creative world. It was allowed some room to breathe, but hmm, like, how do I put this? They were they were given a yard to breathe when they needed a mile.
Hmm.
Instead of being given an inch, they were given a yard, which is significantly better. But it feels like they needed a mile.
Now, was this a front yard or a backyard?
Yeah. Okay.
It's like, yeah, don't encourage him.
Mhm.
Now, let's see here. Champ Stay would like to know if you have a favorite VeggieTales episode.
Hmm. Going to have to gonna take a really quick look because I don't know that answer off the top of my head.
I confess
right,
I only really got to see the Jonah and the whale story. And so I guess by default that's my favorite. Two best words in English language. Default, default, default.
Yeah. Let's see. Which ones were there is a it's a one okay, a good one was Madam Blueberry. That one was pretty good. Oh, King George and the Ducky was savage. Esther, the girl who became queen. Oh, that one's really freaking good. Oh, Lyle the Kindly Viking. Oh, I love that one. Let's see. Ballad of Little Joe. That was pretty good. Lord of the Beans.
Lord of the Beans. I bet that episode
Yeah,
was a
they
gas.
did it. Yeah, I didn't hear the pun, so yay. Yeah. But yeah.
It's okay as long as the audience boos.
Yeah.
Oh, Red Gnome is wondering what was the Chocolate Bunny episode called?
Oh, the Chocolate Bunny. That was Rack Shack and Benny.
Good memory.
Yeah. Yeah, it was that was the episode where they were doing Nebuchadnezzar, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then the fiery furnace.
The fiery furnace, is that a relative of yours? That would be great. You have the fiery Joker, the fiery furnace, and maybe your second cousin twice removed, the fiery toilet. You do.
You are odd.
You're only just now realizing this?
No, I'm not just now realizing this. I'm commenting on a particular tautology.
Oh, really now, I don't feel like this is... It's polite to talk about my tautologies in public. Besides, it's that weirdness that allowed me to crack this flat earth elf conspiracy. I'm going to make that a thing.
How long have you been waiting to use that?
Honestly, it just occurred to me. It's like, hey, I got this sound effect. But now that I have it, I'm going to use it as much as I can.
Uh-huh.
In fact, I want to get on the internet, warn the world, the elves are amongst us. If it's a flat earther, check their ears. But anywho, I continue to be odd. But we were talking about VeggieTales.
We were just talking about which one was my favorite, and I couldn't decide which one I liked the most. Because a lot of them are really good. Like Madam Blueberry is it has a really great song in it that I try to apply to my life. It's about thankfulness. Yeah, it's just I say thanks. It's like I say thanks every day because there's so many things in my life to be thankful for.
I'm grateful for
then there's a King. What?
I'm grateful for the headache I don't have.
Yes. Oh yeah, it's just when your throat is sore, you never realize how much you actually swallow in a day. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, just one sec. I'm gonna try a little something. Okay, let's see. We're getting just a little static there. Oh, and I just heard an alert. Oh, Agent A321, thank you for following.
Yep, I heard the alert too.
Oh, so it is coming through the line. Okay, now you're sounding good.
Okay.
I'm finding new ways, but I still need to get to the bottom of this technical brouhaha. Haha.
Trust me, dude. There is like no way you could reach even further than the bottom.
I don't. I don't know. Streaming seems to want to challenge me at every turn. But so it sounds like VeggieTales gives it made a really strong impression.
Yeah, there was a lot of there were a lot of things like yeah, probably one of the best morals in VeggieTales was from Esther, the girl who became queen. It was the message was about courage and just kind of it's slightly anvilicious, but it's an anvil that needed to be dropped of you don't have to be afraid to do what is right.
For context, what was she afraid? What was the situation she feared?
A couple things. First thing was like she was afraid to call out one of her friends for stealing because she was afraid she was going to lose the friendship.
Ah,
She was afraid. It's like she was afraid to tell King. She was afraid to tell King Xerxes about who she actually was, because she wasn't sure like he would actually think of her. It's like she was afraid to barge into his throne room uninvited to tell him about a thing, but because of what happened to other people that have done that,
hmm.
and she's afraid to step out of line. She's afraid to like step out of line in any way because of what happened to the previous queen.
Oh, that's a very realistic depiction. Okay, maybe an extraordinary circumstance, but definitely a realistic depiction.
Yeah, yeah, and each time that's like it's like each time she was able to be courageous. Each time she was able to be courageous, it's she kind of realized like, oh my gosh, like my fears were silly. It's
Uh,
like when she barged when she went into the throne room uninvited, she was nervous. You could see the nervousness on her face. It's like, "Hey, King, did you actually invite her?" No, I don't think I did. But that's okay.
though it's
Just like, oh my gosh. There's a lot of tension in that story.
though it's interesting. You say that she's afraid of what, based on what happened to the previous queen, which sounds
Mhm.
pretty dire right there. That made me.
Well, well, it's actually not very dire. It's like even in the original biblical story, it's not like super dire.
Oh,
Like, okay, so basically in the original story in the Bible, it's like she just basically embarrassed him, and the worst that and all Xerxes did was just kick her out. And in the in the VeggieTales one, she got kicked out because she didn't make a sandwich. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe they got away with that. There's so many things about the Esther VeggieTales that I cannot believe they got away with.
so good grief. I don't know if that would fly in these modern times.
I don't know either, but it's just like, okay, so yeah, do you know like the basic story of Esther?
Honestly, I feel like I'm pretty weak on that one. I need some catching up.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, Esther becomes queen because she impressed King Xerxes and she's Jewish. But the thing is, like, Xerxes has this guy who's working for him called Haman who hates Jews. And when he starts, and Esther has this cousin called Mordecai, and Mordecai actually saves King Xerxes' life. And Haman realizes, oh no, if he starts liking Mordecai, my sworn enemy, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And so he basically has to convince King Xerxes that the Jews are a threat.
Hmm.
And that carries over into the VeggieTales story, where they actually use, where it's kind of like Pocahontas' savages. They're a sneaky little family who do sneaky little things, who stick the sneaky noses into matters of the king. Like, that was allowed.
Hey, ha! Also, welcome DJ Goldie 12. Thank you for following. Egads. I don't know about this. When
That was for kids.
When I talked about Inhumanoids in a video, a lot of people defend, oh, it was a product of its time. Like, guys, just because it was a product of its time doesn't mean its time was right. Now, but in this case, when you tell me about VeggieTales, those seem like very relevant, important facts. They're uncomfortable
Yeah.
ideas, but I think they need to be said. And that's a big difference from, say, well, in Humanoids, where the heroes are cracking about the solo female's looks. I'm like, no, that doesn't help anyone. So
Yeah.
I guess, actually, a second thought, because I get it, being kicked out because you didn't make a sandwich, but it's funny that being afraid of what happened to the last queen.
Yeah.
Just that saying make me think of C.S. Lewis and his thoughts on punishment and justice, and how much he was against the idea of punishing someone as an example. He was very much against that. Thank you, Flamethrower FIM, for following. He basically said, if you do that, then pretty much every action, no matter how despicable, is suddenly on the table. Because a statistician isn't interested in the morality of an act or its overall problems. They only look at the numbers. The chart says crime is going down. Which, very powerful point. So I was thoroughly impressed.
Yeah. So speaking of weird philosophies, I've been on this weird philosophical dive these past couple days, just going on like this whole big thing, and I basically wrote this entire script for a video, and I have titled it as such: An Insidious Corruption of Literary Apologetics.
Yes, I had the pleasure of reading just the start of it. I don't want to give anything away that might be, I don't want to give away your future video. Even I'm not that cruel.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just that it's just this rabbit hole of all these different things, and I'm just wondering. A lot of times, I'm wondering, like, where is this coming from? It's like, why? It's like, where did this go? It's like, where is this story? Where is this little essay going? Even I don't know. But yeah, and in a weird way, it also like brought up, like you're familiar with Injustice, right?
The video game?
Well, just kind of the whole, not only the video game, but just kind of the whole idea of DC's Injustice.
Yes.
So I thought it was interesting. I was watching a cutscene of Injustice 2 because I was using it as inspiration and evidence in my little essay, and something that the Injustice Superman said really not really surprised me, but something I said in response was surprising, because he said this was right after Wonder Woman stabs Harley, and Supergirl tries to get her help, and and Supergirl goes to confront Superman about like that was ridiculous, and Superman says, "No, that wasn't too far." It's like it's like I was going to kill her after we dealt with Brainiac. What? Why? Because the Joker has sickened her mind beyond healing. It's only a matter of time before she relapses and kills people. And then it's just like the Joker has sickened her mind beyond healing. The snarky voice in the back of my head said, "I don't know. Methinks the boy doth project too much." And then I'm realizing, wait a minute. Yeah, he is projecting, isn't he?
The Joker sickened Superman's mind.
Yeah. Then I just kind of realized, wait a minute. He killed the Joker. He says he killed the Joker to stop him from killing millions of people. But no, it's just Injustice Superman doesn't realize that he's doing exactly what the Joker wanted him to do.
Which ties in.
Superman killed the Joker. Yeah, Superman killed the Joker to stop him from killing millions. Well, Superman killed millions. The Joker just let Superman do it for him.
Yes, and I think there's an interaction between the Joker and Superman in Injustice 2 where he says, "I made you lose control. I win." Yeah. Which is also from The Dark Knight Returns, but but yeah, that is Joker's ultimate victory.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just interesting. Like we often I just wrote up this little that little dialogue exchange between them where Harley's basically telling Superman that, and then she says, "I'm embarrassed. I used to believe that I was the Joker's biggest victim. Now that I see that his biggest victim is you."
I need to interrupt real quick. Wolfie Star has been tired the whole week and is going to get an early night. Yes, I thoroughly encourage that if you're tired, get some rest. It's important. So,
oh yes, absolutely.
Have a good night, and we'll see you again. Also, a quick shout out to Drinking Buddy, who joined us a time ago. And, well, he's sort of my fellow campaigner in trying to get Sweetie Bloom to take some rest. Even
if a chance.
It is an uphill struggle, I do not deny. Incidentally, I finally figured out what I could do for a pelt instead of any cutesy creature. I'm adapting a Timberwolf cloak.
Yeah. Do you know what I but okay, so one thing I've noticed about how to get workaholics to take a break, it's a lot easier if they have like mama bear instincts. So you get a bunch of workaholics with mama bear instincts in the same room, and one of them is tired, the mama bears will like smell blood in the water and converge on that person and force them to take a break. So if you're trying to get a workaholic to take a break, you need another workaholic to tell them to take a break.
So it's blood in the water. You basically turn the mama bears against themselves.
Exactly.
How powerful. And wonderfully manipulative. Firebrand, do you play three-dimensional chess?
Some. Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Doggo did something weird.
Oh.
Yeah.
How is the Corey doing?
Oh, she's doing a lot better. It's just, I think she probably ate something that didn't agree with her.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. So it's almost like it never happened. It's really interesting. We just keep on. It's like I take her for a walk every morning and every evening, and she's always excited to go out. But because we go out all the time, because she's not like super. She's not a super fit dog, but she's not like a fat dog. She's a very lazy dog. She doesn't. So she's not like.
She's lazy, but she doesn't eat
Yeah. So whenever we come back, she's always exhausted. So it's always weird. Like she's excited to go out, but when we come back, she just flops on the floor like all tired and panting, and it's just like, yay, I'm finally doing a thing. Oh, why do I do this to myself?
Why did I go outside? The sun, it burns.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
It's like taking your kid fishing. It's just like, oh, please, can I go fishing? Please, can I go fishing? Okay, you can come fishing. And then 20 minutes later, I'm bored.
It's like they want to be included, but then they don't realize what that inclusion requires.
Yeah, everyone wants to be involved. No one wants to be committed.
Actually, I like the analogy of the Thanksgiving dinner tables. Everyone wants to be at the adult table until you realize everything they talk about is boring. It was way more fun at the kids' table. Let's see here. I have a question from GoshLion91. And if this is too personal, just say so and we'll leave it be. Josh, would you be willing to accept a prayer request?
Oh, wait a minute. Why does that sound familiar? What is that? Oh, yeah, I remember seeing. Good, Julia. I think I know what you're talking about. I can see what you posted in the Discord server. Yeah, I think we could do that.
Okay, then that's all that needs to be said.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be intrusive. That's
yeah.
Oh, now Champ has a question. How did I meet Firebrand? Gosh. This is one of those moments in my life where I was unintentionally trolling. Because Josh reached out to me, I think.
Yeah.
When right after Pinky Pride came out.
Yeah.
He wanted to talk about doing a collab. So the first call we did, was it through? I think it was through YouTube messages at first. Back when that was a thing.
Through YouTube messages. Yeah.
And but we did our first call. I was out and about, and I had to pull into a Starbucks to have Wi-Fi, and I had this headset, and I thought all the audio was through the mic in the headset. Wrong. It was still my laptop mic. So poor Josh, who's so polite, he's hearing the whole ruckus of a Starbucks at full. We're like what, 6 years before human malware, and he's too polite to comment on the noise. And I'm thinking, okay, I've got a mic, so he probably hears me more than anything. And it wasn't until much later I learned that no, that headset was complete butkus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't trying to troll him, but I did. And it kind of kept going from there, I guess.
Yeah, I just thought it was more of like a lot of times I take things at face value. It seems like I assume people are aware of what's going on, that people know what they're doing. A lot of times I assume that people know things that I don't.
I do the same. It seems like a simple way, but then it makes for hilarious misunderstandings. But I'll say this with me. No matter how good I might fake it, I never know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I am just playing it by ear as best I can.
Yeah, the older you get, the better you get at faking knowing what you're doing.
Like with streams.
Or at least that's how it should be.
And let's see here. Yes, my plan when I finally get this title card into action is I'll have like snow billowing But I want to have this beautiful equestrian grassland behind me. There we go. Oh, Champ to Stay is wondering, what in the Withering Hooves am I working on? First off, I would like to applaud. That is just wonderful wordplay. Josh recently introduced me to a video on alternative curse words that I think that's in the same spirit right there.
Yeah.
But what am I working on? I'm so very close to being done with my next video, finally, after much delay and, well, going backwards for more footage. But I don't have a title card. Kind of an important feature. I mean, yeah. Plus the title card also serves as my preview image. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to get that together so I could show friends and family the completed work and get their feedback, and then by thunder I can post the proper video next week. That would be grand. Been gone too long. Let's see here. Just looking through. Yes, Gojalion was fondly recalling Lord of the Beans. Back to VeggieTales.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, I see a Jasper Pie in the chat. Hello, Jasper.
Yeah.
What?
Hello. That's usually how he says hello.
Oh, yes. Well, better to bake a pie than a pie.
Yeah.
Preston Cox would like to know, what do you think of spike abuse?
I'm not entirely sure what they mean by that, because I don't know. That just seems like a very wide, broad topic.
I think
like it could mean two different things.
Let's narrow it to the slapstick surrounding Spike.
Well, I guess I don't always like it whenever, other people make mistakes and Spike's kind of a lightning rod for it. He either works hard, or it's like he either works hard for something and just kind of in the background trying to help, and it just kind of bites him, and he just gets struck by the lightning of comedy. Like, I remember that happening in I believe it was Twilight Time, where he just tried to make nachos for everyone, and then everyone just left. He's like, really? Or in what was it? Horseplay, where it's like, it's like, man, someone, it's like, who's gonna wrangle this crowd, and then they just kind of push him into the role. It's just like, why does he have to do it?
It's like, yeah, but come on, he's done nothing.
Oh, well, that's not entirely true. He just didn't do anything in that moment to warrant it.
I mean, when Spike was snarkier, maybe a little bit more delighting in others' miscomfort, as he was in the first season, then it was sometimes felt like it was karmic for him to get the short end of the stick every now and again.
Yeah. But
later in the series, I felt he became more helpful and loving and supportive, and so suddenly it's not okay that he's being forced into these situations.
Yeah.
Although that itself raises a question. Have you ever seen a show called Eek the Cat?
Eek the Cat, no.
That makes this a little harder. It was a Fox Kids show, which used to air on weekdays back when Fox had kids. Oy. So it was my early teenagehood. Eek was this super friendly somewhat coincidentally purple cat. And just really nice guy. Goes through all manner of physical abuse and explosions, lots of screaming. His favorite expression was kumbaya. And sometimes he did it after a thorough beating. Kumbaya, I can't feel my sphinx. And I wondered, it was hilarious. But like Spike, he was a really good and helpful guy. Normally, I think slapstick is at its funniest when, like, the person kind of deserves it. They've done something ridiculous, or they've been
Like
a little...
Daffy.
Like Daffy, yeah. Daffy earns his slapstick. But it's also funny when it happens to Eek. And so I'm trying to reconcile that in my head. What is it that... What is it that makes it funny? And actually,
maybe we need to, maybe we can get more examples of that the sort of phenomenon. We could probably tie it together. Like, I can already think of one.
Mm-hmm.
It's Fruits Basket.
Oh dear, you're gonna set Sweetie Bloom and my friend Cruelica off. They love the Fruits Basket.
Yeah, yeah. I only recently discovered Fruits Basket, and everyone. It seems like everyone knew about it except for me, and I'm very irritated because the show is freaking amazing, and I am so angry that I never discovered it until like 2-3 months ago.
I'm afraid Cruelica's been telling me
3 months ago.
To watch it for ages now, but at this point I think I'm doing it for cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, it's just yeah, I can understand that, but yeah, it's really good, but it will stab you in the chest with feels a lot.
Dang.
Because the main character Toru is she's kind of like Eek in a way. It's like she is endlessly helpful, endlessly optimistic, endlessly nice, it's like she will give you the moon but never ask you for anything in return.
Huh.
She is so charitable, so nice. Like, there is not a mean bone in her body. It's like, there's a reason that so many anime top 10 lists put her at number 1 as the nicest character in anime.
Wow. That's stiff competition.
Yeah, it's like Toru is the nicest character in anime. And the great thing is that she isn't like one-dimensional about it. She is a very complex character. She isn't just nice, charity, like a robot. She has fears. There's times when she, there's times when she shouts, but anyone who has experienced Toru agrees. She is the nicest character in anime.
Okay, you've increased my intrigue.
Thing. Yeah.
I kind of got to say to Cruelica and Sweetie, why didn't you say that? I like nice characters. I want to see nice characters.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of it deals with it's a really great, like, slice of lifey anime, but there are supernatural elements to it. It deals a lot with the Zodiac. And is very creative with how it handles the Zodiac. I'm not going to spoil anything especially because it's like saying it's Zodiac is not a spoiler because it literally opens talking about the Zodiac.
There you go. It's like, you ruined the first 1 second of the show. How could you?
Yeah.
Pardon me, folks, as I'm trying to scroll my there we go, After Effects. I've taken up the whole screen with it. There we go. So, please pardon me. So, I'm guessing, though, that if she's so nice, but she takes a little bit of slapstick as well?
Oh yeah, she does deal a little bit with plastic. It's like she is deathly afraid of offending people. And she's also a little clumsy, but you know, like the whole clumsy thing. But a lot of the slapstick comes from like she isn't fully aware of how nice and selfless she is, which is a good thing, and she gets people who are protective of her. And there's just and the thing is like, you know, you also know how there are people who are so utterly selfless and so charitable that they take care of people at the expense of themselves.
I know several
That
within
is
this very
that
community.
that is Toru. She will take care of people at the expense of herself.
Oh, goodness.
Like this doesn't actually happen. I'm just giving you a hypothetical scenario, but she will work all night, it's like cook Thanksgiving, clean everything up all night, to just work all night long, and she will have burned herself, she will have done all of these things, and then she will just, it's like when everyone just sees all the work she's done, and then she'll just be smiling and like, it's good to be helping.
That is actually in spirit with Eek the cat. It never hurts to help.
Yeah.
Which then you see what he goes through. He's like, that is a lie. Why do you lie? Now, I gotta ask, when she experiences some misfortune, what's her general reaction in that moment?
Well, define misfortune.
Well, let's say in this situation that something, say, explodes. I don't know if Fruits Basket features that level of slapstick.
I mean, things don't explode, but a lot of walls and doors get kicked down.
Okay,
and
so
destroyed.
Someone takes out a wall and it just comes crashing down in front of her. How does she normally react to
that? Usually with a lot of fear. Like, what's going on? What's going on? Is what? Do they hate each other? Do they hate each other? What's going on? Is there anything I can do to help? Oh no! Is this a disaster? Ah! And then after she kind of calms down, she can usually get into the headspace of, okay, is there anything I can do to help with whatever problem's going on here?
One sec, I could hear you, but only just. So basically, her natural impulse to help really kicks into high gear.
Yeah, it kicks into high gear, but yet beforehand, it's just like she is absolutely terrified of inconveniencing people.
Yes, I definitely know several people in the fandom like that.
Yeah, and when misfortune usually befalls like other people, like there's this one character who is absolutely unfortunate. Like the the worst possible thing is going to happen to this person. That is when it is the most like resolute and determined she has ever been in the show to try and save this person. It's like when she sees what it seems like a hopeless situation. It's like when you see it, you realize, well, how are they supposed to get out of this? And she's like, I'm gonna figure it out. Just like
Interesting.
without hesitation. It's amazing.
Okay, I'm kind of developing a theory here that the humor lies more in the reaction than the pain.
Yeah.
I mean, the Nostalgia Critic put forth the idea that all humor is based on pain. And that made sense for a time. But then I read a book called Only a Joke Can Save Us. And in a similar, the author put forth the idea that humor is you take excess and deficiency, limit, and you create a link between them, something that no one would expect. So you see a wall come down, a character is like, oh my God, what's going on? How can I help? That's a lack of control and an excess of empathy or kindness.
Yeah.
And by a similar notion, Eek was always, his first impulse was to help. He was innocent and perhaps a little naive, but you loved him for it. You can never hate Eek.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's an interesting theory, hypothesis, something to consider further. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Motion square polygon. Trying to create just little, I guess shaded spheres are the thing. Huh. Origin constant. There we go.
Yeah.
What is
Another thing about Toru is that she always knows exactly what to say to help you.
Huh. She always knows what to say. Well, okay. I envy her that ability.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is that she doesn't know that she has it. She's just trying to be a nice person. And there are plenty of tragic things. She has experienced a lot of tragic. It's like in the story in Fruits Basket, she compares it to a story of a traveler and all these little like ruffians who keep asking her for. Yeah. Say what? Oh yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. There's another character who compares her to a character in a story where she's a traveler and there's all these ruffians who like ask her for things. They ask her for her clothes or her items, and they eventually start asking for her limbs. And these are people who are being dishonest. But every single time, the traveler is gleefully and happily giving them the stuff, even though she's essentially being scammed. And the thing is, when Toru was being compared, and the thing is like a lot of people can think of the traveler in that story as foolish, but the character telling the story, and as well as Toru, don't think the traveler is foolish because the traveler was happy to do it.
That sounds like a lot of Germanic fairy tales. Usually, a traveler gives. Oh, I told the joke and I didn't even know it. I'm that good.
Because the freaking person who told the tale is German.
There we go. Achtung.
Oh my god. Wow.
Oh, but yeah, there's Jim Henson. His company did The Storyteller, which adopted a lot of Germanic, and there are people who are kind to the how shall I put it? They're kind to random people, and as a result, they're usually blessed. They receive a thanks for their kindness, usually in the form of a boon. Let's see here. I'm not great with this here particle world, but we're getting there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, someone in the Twitch chat actually gave an interesting point about Clay. Clay Pigeon 310. When you talk about Eek the Cat and why his slapstick was funny without the catharsis of he deserved it, my first question was how well does he shrug it off? Seeing a nice person getting hurt isn't funny, but if they don't act like it hurts all that bad, all you're left is with the humor.
It's funny. There's the physical pain. I mean, he is certainly shaken by it all, but he never becomes angry or bitter or cruel. He never takes it out on the next person. It's like all the misfortune in the world can befall him. He will not hurt anyone else as a result. So that may be part of it. And let's see here.
Maybe.
Okay, right now it looks like I'm just being assailed by bubbles. It's like, beware the wow, its bubbles are really coming down. Dang. Maybe I should take some of the velocity down. Let's see here. One, Clay Pigeon, I find that an excellent insight. Starbolt86, you're wondering which Germanic fairy tale? Oh, there are several. There's the Old Soldier and the Sack. It's the Old Soldier and Death, but a sack is involved. Then there's Tale of a Boy and a Giant, and that's one of their best. I mean, that one's incredible. So I guess I'll have to talk about them. You think you can still find, the DVD out there. But let's see here. Jiggly Saint also makes a good point. Not letting the weight of the world crush your spirit. Perhaps, well, again, it's lack and excess together. So let's see here. To Firebrand from Champ to Stay. Are there enough good licensed video games to make a top 10 list?
Probably. Let me just check. I'll check my favorite games list real quick. Licensed games.
Let's see here.
I could think of I could think of a couple things like obviously the Batman Arkham series. Yeah, there's also Insomniac Spider-Man. I do remember the Lord of the Rings games being very, very good. Let's see.
Now I kind of wonder, by licensed games, are we talking? Is it just licensed off a property, or is it like a video game tie-in? Or sorry, a movie tie-in. It is a video game.
Maybe like a non-video game tie-in. Like I would definitely say like Injustice 2 would probably count because, oh my gosh, Injustice 2 is amazing. Like there's Harley Quinn is amazing in that game. Like there's this one line where she just completely dresses down Wonder Woman. It's like Wonder Woman's about to kill Cheetah, and then Harley just shoots the sword out of her hand. Your head bats, no killing. It's like, really? You dare to lecture me? How much blood is on your ledger, Quinn? Oh, bucket's full, honey. I was trying too hard to impress the wrong guy. Kind of like you and Superman.
Oh, yeah, she was savage and correct.
Mm-hmm. It's like, it's like, oh, yeah, she's a psychologist. Forgot about that. I just think she's so admirable in a way. It's like it seems like Superman and Harley switched places, where Superman is now the victim of the Joker, and Harley is the one who is doing her best to fight temptation for a better world.
Jeez, I'm animating a snowstorm to the face. It seems. Boat to the head.
Mm.
Let's see here. Directional, viscous. That might sound interesting. Viscous sounds much more disturbing. Okay, so I need velocity, but tone down the birth rate. Okay, that sounds uncomfortable.
What is?
The word choice used by Adobe Illustrator's birth rate, velocity, resistance. It's like, I feel like I'm saying the wrong things.
It's like a million words to pick, and you pick those.
It's like, yeah, like what the hey?
A million ways to say it, and you pick that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. So Enderpup asked earlier what our thoughts were on the Olympic Games.
I didn't watch much of the Olympics. I know that they actually put it's like someone actually told me that they put Dragon Quest and Pokemon Coliseum music as an introduction to the games. I'm like, wait, really?
Interesting choice. Let's see, I can't put this. I like the theory behind the games, but the emphasis on outcome has really diminished the spirit, especially as people. Oh, there are always so many scandals of substance abuse and people have coming up with all these bizarre defenses. Anyone who's watched John Oliver's video on it may know what I'm talking about. And I think we've emphasized winning that gold medal so badly, we've violated the spirit of what that medal is supposed to symbolize. So I'm more frustrated by the Olympics at this point. I still believe that they can be something wonderful, but they need a reestablishment of values. And I'm going to put this out there, knowing the fate of the bird's nest in China and how these grand coliseums are built and then go to ruin, I'm more for have a central location for the Olympics, and every year one country acts as the host, but it's in this location. Because for any money it makes in the short term seems to be lost in the long term.
So you think one country should be the ringmaster?
Yes, ringmaster. That's an excellent term for it. The ringmaster. So just put on some shows, generate some culture. I mean, I understand that a big draw of the Olympics is the money of tourism and interaction. I believe there's a way to work around that. But first people have to commit to the idea. Gravity vector. What's this? Oh, this is great. I'm the equivalent of Dee Dee right now. What does this button do?
Ooh, what does this button do?
No, that is for sure. I've never gotten into sports. I mostly blame John Madden for that. When I was a kid, he would explain these plays in football, but he made it sound like genuine rocket science. Okay, you gotta angle your velocity to the incoming roll and sidestep in conjunction with the rotation of the Earth. And I just remember throw ball, tackle guy with ball. So that's my grudge against John Madden, who I think is no longer with us. So I might want to let that go.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never been much for watching sports. It just I honestly I never really understood the whole like fascination that people have with like rooting on the side of a team. Like, oh, my city's sports team is better than your city's sports team. I never got it. Then again, at the same time, I'm also that whenever someone from another military branch walks in the street, I'd be like, "Chair Force, Chair Force," and mock them. It's like, "Oh, hey, look, an army dude. Yeah, look, it's a little huh."
See, I remember Everfree Northwest 2017. We did a panel with Q, and you learned about the Air Force's policy on housing.
Yeah, it's the Air Force is ritzy, and that is.
Ritz Force. I like it.
The Air Force is ritzy, and that is irritating. So the detail that infuriated me, for those that don't know, is that what in the Marine Corps, like if you don't have a house, you're assigned a barracks. You're assigned a barracks, which is basically kind of like a very very tiny apartment for two people, and yeah, you got barely any room to do anything. But myself, I don't need a lot of room, and I have never really needed a lot of room to do the things I needed to do, so never really minded. But the thing is just the way that the barracks are usually set up, the way the barracks usually are for the Air Force, that would actually be considered substandard living, and we'd be entitled to hazard pay. It's ridiculous. Are you telling me that I could have had a bigger paycheck if I was in the Air Force and if I was living like I am now?
Although one thing I guess I'm curious, why would the Air Force be more concerned about space when they, by their job, are in these very tiny cockpits for presumably hours at a time? I can't think that claustrophobia is a concern.
I don't know.
Well.
I wish I knew, but I don't. It's just the Marine Corps always got like the table scraps of everything.
Let's see here. And another question. This one from Champ to Stay. Are you or Firebrand the better singer of the two? And I don't even have to consult on this. Firebrand's better.
And that's not saying much.
Well, okay, I admit I set the bar rather low, but yeah, I okay. A drunk goat is a better singer than I. So, yeah. But Josh, I genuinely believe you're a better singer than a drunk goat. I don't know.
I like to think I am.
I don't know. Don't know how we could do that. How can we set this up? Epic rap battle: JoshScorcher versus a drunk goat. Yeah. My only question now is how can I slow this blessed snowstorm down? Look at it. Right now I'm getting pelted. Ba-bam, ba-bam, ba-bam. Trinary saying, Silver, the bar is so low it's used for a limbo contest. Trinary, I set the bar so low it's used to balance the floor. Let's see here. There was another question. Oh, there was the question of how did you come up with the idea for TF2 Analysis Anarchy?
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, so one day we were just talking. I was actually just talking with Dr. Wolf, and we were when he was doing the moment with Dr. Wolf stuff, and he just kind of randomly brought up the idea about couples therapy, and he was thinking about people to do that with, but he wasn't sure, he wasn't aware of any couples around in the fandom. And so kind of just thought about the idea. It's like, well, what if we were to have a sort of a, maybe a fake relationship, maybe like a sort of played up relationship, like just exists purely in the fandom. Sure. Like, and then we started thinking around. It's just like, hey, could we do it with Ink Rose maybe? And yeah, and so we started talking. It's like she was really excited about the idea. So how should we build this up? It's like there's no build up to you and Ink Rose as a couple. Okay. So we need to do something else. Well, what's an interest that both of you have? We both like TF2, and that's how Analysis Anarchy got started. because of a fake romance. Yay.
And the rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Champ is wondering where I could find a goat to get drunk. I have my secrets. That's all I'll say. Also, the question if either of us have seen Amphibia.
Never heard of it.
I feel like I've heard of it, but I haven't really seen it. And let's see here. Also, a question. Oh, well, this one takes me a little bit by surprise. Clay Pigeon is asking if either of us has ever our thoughts on the 1996 animated Mighty Ducks, which was very different from the hockey movies. I don't know if you've even have you even heard of this?
Yeah, I've heard of the animated Mighty Ducks. It was edgy.
And I've just received a message from Sweetie Bloom. No feeding alcohol to livestock. You never let me have any fun. But, oh, Andrew Pup, why you gotta do this? Have you ever seen Hamilton?
I have not.
See, I'm not alone. Forgive me, but I really need this. I'm not alone and not seen it just yet. I mean, you don't know the audience. They turn on me. They sense my weakness. Mm-hmm. But man alive, what do I do to slow these things down? I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to like Google it. Let's see here. There has been a recurring questions about G5, but I want to preface this first. Spoilers, we want to avoid those as much as possible because, well, people want to approach this as pure or unaware as they can. And I remember, Josh, you had the grand struggle of trying to enjoy the season 4 finale before everyone spoiled it.
Yeah. I made it all the way until the night before.
See, here's the unfortunate thing. When you have a presence with an audience, spoilers are even harder to avoid because people want to talk to you about it. And they may not think...
Yeah, what do you think of this?
It's like, I will let you know as soon as I find out, but Why did you have to say that? Why did you say that name?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't. So, Josh, given whatever you know, what's like a general impression you have of G5 so far?
I know very, very little. I'll be honest. I am intentionally trying to go in with with as fresh as possible. The only thing that I really seen of a lot of the art is that I don't think I've ever seen a character frown yet.
They have not. I have not seen frowns. I mean, they've definitely been exercising. How shall I put it? They've been exercising the joy. You want to see everyone looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's just I have not seen a character like frown yet. I'm like, I don't know. It's like it's like, but hey, if G4 has taught us anything, is that you do not judge anything by appearance. For all we know, this thing could be really like. For all we know, this show could be Gravity Falls levels of dark. But who knows? Just like we can't really make any judgments until it actually comes out. It's like also like the new especially with the new He-Man cartoon that has just come out. Like you think you'd think it'd actually be about He-Man.
Well, I said this in Twitter last night. Everyone's talked about the preview images, but no one's complimented Robato's poncho. Why do they not love the poncho? He's very nice poncho. But, oh man, this is...
Yeah, but it's just like when you call it He-Man, you'd expect the story to kind of be about where He-Man is the main character, but... Yeah.
But hey, at least we can say that My Little Pony will be about ponies. If that's a spoiler, wow.
Dude, no!
You mean My Little Pony will be about little horses? What is this madness? Let's see here. I'm currently browsing online just to see how can you slow down, but they're all videos. How to After Effects tutorials all through YouTube. So I feel like I shouldn't stream those. I should just let people search it out. I'll say I'm intrigued by some of the ideas they put forth. If you showed me images, especially still images of My Little Pony before I became a fan, I wouldn't have thought very highly of the art style. It looks cardboard. It's deceptively simple. As someone who's now had the chance to draw these backgrounds, I can promise you they are not nearly so simple. But I want to see these characters, as you say, give them the chance to frown. Let me see what they're like, how they handle a bad day. Kind of like the Fruits Basket heroine in Eek the Cat. A character is real when you see how they handle the bad times. Other than that, there's a line I remember from Gargoyles. There's no point in going backwards. So I'm not looking for this to be Friendship is Magic all over again. I want it to be its own show. So let's see here. Z-Blade Gershon, you thought what would work? I do not know. I am confused. Turn down, go to physics and gravity. Well, let's see here. If I turn down the gravity, they get bigger. The bubbles get bigger, but they're still flying really fast. Okay, now it looks like some giant is blowing bubbles at me, and the magic of the Twilicane is holding it at bay. I have burst your bubble. So I guess I'll need the gravity. Ah, well, this will require further experimentation. That's all there is to it. And let's see here. But that's the fun of video producing. There's always something new to learn. The bubble tornado. Nice. Enderpup is saying, wrong, that quote I gave was Alice from Wonderland. Well, it may have originated from Alice in Wonderland, but I know specifically it's Hudson telling Goliath when he wants to choose a second in command, you were my second in command. There's no point in going backwards. You've got 3 young gargoyles to choose from. So, but you know what? I can totally see Alice in Wonderland giving that quote. Maybe Hudson heard it on TV, as is his way. So we are coming up on the end of our time. Oh, now a message from Q that giant blowing bubbles is hysterical. So I tell you all, you just giant bubbles, bubbles. Get a little popping sound effect in there. Oh dear. Yes, it is loud. Unfortunately, I can't quite control how loud my notifications are. So, anyway. Josh, are there any projects or events coming up that you'd like to promote?
Projects coming up. Well, I mean, I am still working on, Shadows of the Old World, which is my 2E campaign over on, which is my Pathfinder 2nd Edition campaign over on Dragonfinder. It's kind of a sequel campaign to Welcome to the Show. I'm also, recently I just did top 15 worst video game consoles. The number one kind of broke me because it's something that AVGN has not talked about yet. When I discovered what it was, it's like, can you imagine paying $2,000 just to play?
Oh, one sec. I'm afraid you're sounding muffled.
Could you imagine paying like $2,000 just to play a single game?
Oh no. Well, okay. Are we including microtransactions in this?
Nope.
Okay, then no. So, otherwise, I fear microtransactions are a whole other kettle of fish.
Yeah, so basically it was this console that had modules and that you had to buy separately in order to get them to work. And you could play things like a Sega Genesis and TurboGrafx 16 on them, but like the modules cost like more than the Sega Genesis and the Sega CD combined. So it's like, well, why not just buy a Sega Genesis and a Sega CD? It's like even the CDX was more expensive than the Sega Genesis and Sega CD, and the module was more expensive than the CDX. Like, ridiculous. So, but yeah, also coming up, my next bosses countdown at the start of next month is going to be top 10 smart bosses in gaming. Like, which bosses were not like smart, like brainiacs, like who have the highest intelligence, but you had to be smart in order to defeat them, or they were smart enough to learn how to deal with you.
I think
surprisingly there were. Yeah. What?
I think someone in the chat mentioned earlier, like, would there ever be a top 10 dumb ways to die?
That's probably not. It's a really, really vague. It's I think it's far too nebulous to make into a countdown.
I get you. But we have stupid bosses and then smart bosses.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Starbolt86, I will do more Jungian psychology videos. I've said this many times, but I think it will always be true. The first part of this year really knocked me down. So getting to get this tile card together, getting to post a new video, it's going to feel good as a return to creative output. And then, well, I'm grossly behind in everything, but that just means keep going. Now, but again, I will keep this eternal struggle of, look at these dang bubbles. They still look like bubbles. Oh, well, I'll figure it out. That is, and then I'll be that much better at graphics. Josh, I have been curious. The convention scene is trying to restart. I mean, Everfree will feature a lot of folks communicating via Skype because, well, travel is still very much a question. Are there any conventions that you're eyeing, or is it a wait and see?
Right now it's a wait and see. The only reason I didn't go to Everfree Northwest is, well, there's two reasons I didn't go to Everfree Northwest. The first one was that it felt like it kind of snuck up on me, and two, because I wasn't entirely sure I could afford it. Yeah, but it's really the bigger reason was like it kind of snuck up on me. So I felt like it was too late to try to apply to anything.
I know that feeling. I'm trying to get ready, and I still feel like there's just not enough time. It's like, oh my God, there's still so much to do. But that's what part of this weekend will be. Oh, Flamethrower FIM, have a great night. In fact, just some in the chat wishing everyone a good night.
All right. But yeah, it's the convention scene is I'd be excited to get back into it because that was a lot of fun. I think a lot of it is going to depend on, how Gen 5 is.
Yep.
Whether or not we're going to have individual pony conventions, or whether or not they'll just be pony stuff will be assimilated into other nerd conventions like, Comic-Con, Comic-Palooza, PAX, that sort of thing.
We are the nerd culture. You will be assimilated. Resistance is futile. Got one more question from Clay Pigeon. Opinion on immortality. Is it a blessing or a curse?
Depends.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like the immortality itself is objective. It's how the individual reacts to it.
Yeah.
So, actually, I guess that Celestia seems to have taken the whole, at least longevity, and done really well by it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Chance to ask. Oh, let's see. Clay was talking about they did not ask the Mighty Ducks question. But unfortunately, and Helsing corrects me that John Madden is still alive, which is good. Certainly don't wish otherwise. Anyway, I think, folks, we're at a good stopping point. It's been wonderful to catch up with y'all. And Josh, I love hearing your thoughts and input.
Yeah, I love talking to you too.
So, truth is, with all that goes on in life, we don't get to do this as often as we'd like.
Yep.
But we can work to correct that. So.
Yeah, it's called being an adult, and it sucks.
It has its benefits, but it carries burdens too. But then being a kid carries burdens in its own way. Yeah. So, And so, as a parting thought to y'all, I will once again ask you to help spread the word of the Flat Earth Elf conspiracy.
Yes.
They must be exposed to the light of day.
Yes.
So, in the meantime, I will wish y'all a wonderful weekend. Be safe and be well. I'm Silver-Quill. Thanks for watching.
And I'm JoshScorcher. Yeah.